Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I'm Scott. Today, on the Prog Corner, boys and girls, we're going to be doing my favorite non-prog albums. Why? Because man cannot live on prog alone. Well, he probably can, but every now and then I listen to something besides prog. So I'm going to go through my top 25 non-prog albums. Some of these are kind of proggy. Others have zero connection to prog. But these were the 25 albums that I enjoyed over the course of the past 12 months. And I'm starting at number 25 with Bully, Lucky for You. Their fourth album on Sub Pop. I say there, but it's really Alicia Bagnano's band. I'm a big fan of hers. Terrific band, aggressive, but very cool. Bully's at number 25. At number 24, an album that's, gotten a whole lot of press all year. It's Boy Genius and The Record, their debut album, of course. This is three gals, Julian Bakey, Lucy Dacus, and Phoebe Bridgers. They put an EP out last year, and then the LP just did so much, man. I'm a boomer, man, so I don't really understand the world all that much. The world's being run by millennials, and I just don't get it sometimes. So I need records like this to help inform and educate me, man. At number 23, it's The National and their latest, The First Two Pages of Frankenstein. This is their 9th album, and it's got some cool guest appearances. Of course, Taylor Swift shows up here. We just talked about Boy Genius, so Phoebe Bridgers is on here. Sufjan Stevens, who we're probably going to talk about in a minute, is on here. I love The National, another great record, their 9th album. They're from Ohio originally, so I gotta like them, right? At number 22, it's Mitski and the Land is in a spot oh man, I can't say this word. Inhospitable. And so are we. Yeah, this is Mitski's 7th album. It's on Dead Ocean. Her birth name is Mitsuki Laycock. She goes by Mitski. This is her 7th album, probably her most Americana album, if you will. But she cites Stravinsky and Scott Walker as her top 2 influences for this album. And she even scored her first Billboard hit with My Love, Mine, All Mine. Fantastic. I love Mitski. Good stuff. At number 21, a band I knew nothing about. This is their 2nd album. It's Feeble Little Horse. And the album is Girl with Fish. Like I said, this is their 2nd album. I did not hear their debut. They're on Saddle Creek. I guess they're from Pittsburgh. The lead singer, Lydia Slocum, man, she kind of sounds like... if the Waitresses were into shoegaze, maybe would sound a little like this, but really cool. I need to check out their first album, Heyday, which came out in 2021. Yeah, really cool album. At number 20, another band that I knew nothing about. It's Palehound and Eye on the Bat. Man, all of a sudden, I am a huge fan of Palehound just from out of nowhere. These folks are from Boston, and they're led by Elle Kempner. What a great voice she has. These songs are cool. Lo-fi rock songs. They're a guitar band. I dig them quite a bit, man. A band to definitely keep an eye out on is Palehound and Elle Kempner, man. Remember that name. At number 19, it's Temple's 4th album, Exotica. I've always liked Temple's. Kind of a psych pop band. But this 4th album is really cool, really special in that it's produced by none other than Sean Lennon Oko. These guys are originally from the UK, and James Bagshaw, their vocalist, I really dig his style, really like Temples, and this album is, like the name would imply, Exotica, kind of, throwing some different flavors into their sound. Really cool. At number 18, it's Feist, and her 6th album, Multitudes. Leslie Feist first came to my attention, not from an Apple ad, but rather from... the group, The Broken Social Scene, that great Canadian collective. She was part of that, and I fell in love with her voice and everything about her. This is a quiet album. She's a new mom now, so you know what happens when you become a parent for the first time. You start slow. Well, what would I know about that? I don't know nothing about it, but I've witnessed it time and time again. People have kids, and all of a sudden their art changes a whole bunch, and this is no different, man. but it's actually a really good album. Kind of making me think of Nick Drake or Leonard Cohen at some points. Not a horrible way to be compared. At number 17, we're going to go into some shoegaze with Slowdive. Everything is Alive. I've always liked this band. They were formed in Reading in 1989, and oddly enough, they've only got 5 albums out. I always liked their second album, Souvlaki. That album was just dynamite from 1993. But I think this might be my favorite Slowdive album. Really good. Neil Halstead is the vocalist here. He's awesome. I love Slowdive. At number 16, I said there'd be a couple proggy things in here. Yeah, I'm not lying. How about Swan's latest album, The Beggar? It's not really prog. I have a hard time circling that square, considering Swans prog, but they're super progressive. Michael Gira is an absolute genius. This is their 16th album. What are they? Are they no wave? Are they noise rock? Are they industrial? Are they post-punk? I have no idea, man. But they have come a long, long way from when I first encountered them with albums like Filth and Cop and Greed. Man, those albums are cool, but they have come a long way, and I love Swans. At number 15, yet another band that was new to me this year. It's Being Dead and When the Horses Would Run. This is a really, really cool record. The two principals in this band are platonic besties, Falcon, Bitch, and Gumball. Yeah, something tells me those probably aren't on their birth certificates. I hear a lot of surf rock here. I hear freak pop. I hear, a little bit of punk. It's pretty cool, but you know what I hear the most is the B-52s, and that's never a bad thing. At number 14, it's the new Squid album, Oh Monolith. Man, I loved their first album, Bright Green Field. Came out in 2021. I thought it was dynamite. I think this is maybe, perhaps, a step down from that. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Second band. These guys are from Brighton in the UK. Obviously, all that, kind of South London sound informing what's going on here. They cite Noi, however you pronounce it, Noi, and This Heat as influences, and I definitely hear both of those bands. At number 13, here's a band that I'd heard about for a while, but never really bothered checking out. It's a band called Ratboys, and their 5th album, The Window, and I'm sorry it took me this long to check them out. Just fantastic. From the Chicago area. I guess the two principals in the band are Julia Steiner and David Sagan. They met while they were attending the University of Notre Dame, got signed. They're just a really, really good songwriting team. These are some good songs. Don't let the name Ratboys scare you off. There's nothing scary about them. They're just great. At number 12, I said I'd give him a mention. It's Sufjan Stevens and his 10th album. Depending on how you count it with all the collaborations and all the other stuff that he does. I guess this is his 10th proper album. It's called Javelin. And if you liked Carrie and Lowell from 2015, if you like that singer-songwriter part of Sufjan Stevens' musical DNA, then you're really going to like this. It definitely harkens back to that album. You know me, man. I'm hoping for another Illinois or Michigan or even give me another Age of Odds. I'll take it. But I love Sufjan Stevens. Whatever he wants to drop, I'm going to listen to it. At number 11, another band that kind of falls into that category. It's Local Natives. California band led by Kelsey Ayer. This is their 5th album, and I am just a humongous fan of their first 2 albums. Gorilla Manor and Hummingbird, I think, are just absolute masterpieces. The next 2 weren't great, but this one, they're starting to right the ship a little bit. It's produced by the great John Conkelton, who seems to produce everything. Time Will Wait for No One is the name of the album, and it's actually really, really good. Local Natives, cool band, I love them. Now we're in the top 10, boys and girls. At number 10, a band that's been getting a whole bunch of attention this year. It's Hotline TNT, and there's, I think it's their 2nd album, right? Called Cartwheel. This is basically a one-man band. It's Will Anderson. He's from New York City. Got himself signed to Third Man Records. And this is great stuff, man. Yeah, it's power pop. It's shoegaze. There's a little bit of jangle pop in there. But it's primarily a shoegaze record with some fantastic songwriting. In fact, This album starts out with one of the best 1, 2, 3 punches of the year with the songs Protocol, I Thought You'd Change, and Beauty Filter. Man, what a way to start an album. Fantastic stuff. Hotline TNT. Yeah, they're on my radar now, that's for sure. At number 9, it's the return of Blonde Redhead, and they finally put out a decent album after 2 I really did not like. 2014's Baragon left me cold, and before that, Penny Sparkle in 2010 was awful. I actually seen them on the Penny Sparkle tour, and it was just a disaster. Panther the Prince opened. Why do you want Panther the Prince opening? That's ridiculous. But I digress. This is their 10th album. They are led, of course, by the great Kazu Makino on vocals. And you've got the Pace Brothers, Amadeo and Simone. I love this band. I've always loved Blonde Redhead, and I'm just so happy that they finally have put a decent record out. It's been a long time. Talking about somebody that's had a long gestation period between albums, and it's not his fault because he's dead. It's Sparklehorse and Bird Machine, the posthumous 5th album from that absolute genius we know as Mark Linkhouse. Wow, I guess all this material was collected and collated by his son Matt, who lovingly took all the tapes and all the tracking and all the stuff that his dad was working on, put together a great, great album. I love Sparklehorse, man, but if you don't know who they are, I would suggest you start out with 1998's Good Morning Spider or 2001's It's a Wonderful Life. Those 2 albums are 10 out of 10, but this is a great album, and you even get a Jason Little sighting. Yeah, Jason Little from Granddaddy's on here. At number 7, man, one band that I just absolutely love, it's Deerhoof and their 18th album, Miracle Level. Their first album, all in Japanese, which is really, really cool. They actually went to a real studio with a real producer and came up with this really bizarre, cool album. Probably my favorite album from them since maybe Breakup Songs. I think it's fantastic. Satomi Matsusuki, she's incredible. Greg Sonier on drums, amazing. And then you get the double guitar attack of John Dietrich and Ed Rodriguez. Man, do I love me some Deerhoof. And yes, they are very progressive at number 6. A band that claims that prog is 25% of their DNA. Yeah, it's guided by voices. Yeah, Robert Pollard subscribes to the 4 Ps, prog, punk, psych, and pop. So there's always a little bit of prog rock in a Guided by Voices album. And boys and girls, he released 3 albums this year as Guided by Voices and 1 as the Circus Devils. We might be talking about that one too in a bit. So I'm going with album number 39, the 3rd album that dropped this year. It's called Nowhere to Go But Up. Earlier in the year, they dropped the Welsh Pool Frillies, which is awesome. La La Land, which is awesome. But I think the best of the 3 is Nowhere to Go But Up. Just a great, great album. At number 5, it's King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard and their 497th album. Actually, I'm including their 24th album, Petrodragonic Apocalypse. They actually released another album since then, The Silver Cord, which is a completely different animal. This one here is kind of like their heavy metal follow-up to 2019's Infest the Rat's Nest. They're real good at playing the metal stuff, but man, this band can do anything from psych to pop to shoegaze to dream pop to metal to prog rock. I love King Gizzard. What a great band. At number 4, here's a band that I've been hearing about for a long, long time. I figured I wouldn't like them because it doesn't really sound like they'd be up my alley, but I've been hearing great things about their 5th album. It's Wednesday and Rat Saw God. This is a band from Asheville, North Carolina, over there by the Biltmore House and Mount Mitchell and the Appalachians. What a cool part of the country. And so, yeah, there's a little bit of country and Americana in this band, Stu, but I really enjoyed the songwriting. It's Carly Hartzman and MJ Lenderman are the 2 main songwriters in this band. To go along with the country and bluegrass and Americana feel, there is some shoegaze, a little bit of grunge, and a whole bunch of indie rock. These are some good songs. This is a great band. Wednesday. definitely need to keep an eye on them. At number 3, it's Shame and Food for Worms, their third album. This South London band is affiliated with that whole scene, Squid and Black Country New Roads and Black Midi and all that stuff. But I just love this band. This is their third album. And maybe it's not quite as post-rocky as the first two. Maybe sanding down a little bit of those jagged edges. But man, they're still there. Just check out the first track on this album called Fingers of Steel. Wow, is that good? It's followed up by another great track called Six Pack. The album ends with a really, really good song called All the People. Charlie Steen is the vocalist for this band. Shame. Remember the name, man. What a great, great band. At number 2, I got a little surprise for you here. It's Olivia Rodrigo. What? Why not, man? And her second album, Guts, follows up Sour, which came out in 2021. Yeah, somebody really likes this girl because she got snapped up by Geffen Records right away, and her first album did fantastic. The second album here is even better. It's a little bit more rock and roll, a little less pop. I love this girl. Both of her albums were produced by Dan Nigro from As Tall as Lions. That's a band I haven't heard from in a long, long time. But Olivia got her start on the Disney Channel. She was writing and singing songs for this weird show called Bizaardvark, and I fell in love with her humor. I fell in love with her point of view. She's absolutely brilliant. Then she was on High School Musical, I guess the TV series. She's just incredible. It's not a fluke, boys and girls. And it's just so weird that the future of rock and roll is in the hands of the girl from the Disney Channel. Whatever, man. I'll take it. Whatever I can get. And at number 1, my favorite non-prog album of 2023. It's the Circus Devils and Squeeze the Needle. Oh, welcome back. It's been a long time. This is the 15th album for Robert Pollard and the Tobias brothers, Todd and Tim. Their first album came out all the way back in 2001 with Ringworms Interiors. Great album. But I would recommend checking out Pinball Mars from 2003 or Gringo from 2009 or this one right here, man, Squeeze the Needle. What a fantastic record this is, man. Where's that snake? Where's that snake at? Oh, man, Robert Pollard is just crazy. I love him. I love Guided by Voices, and I love Circus Devils, which is his kind of his prog, if you will, side project. A little proggier than Guided by Voices, but still within that same realm. Just awesome. 2023, baby. It's a wrap. I love you guys. Next week, I'm going to be doing bands that completely changed their sound, so that's going to be kind of fun because there's been a whole bunch of bands that made a weird left turn somewhere in their career. Sunday, we're doing the live prog stream, and it's going to be the top 10 Zappa albums. And don't forget, Friday at noon on Prog Radio, we're going to be going through my entire top 25 best albums. It's going to be like a 4-hour show. If you miss it Friday, you can listen again Saturday at 6 p.m. on Prog Radio. I'll shoot a link in the description. You guys got to have that on your phone or on your desktop. Just an amazing, amazing internet radio station. I love it. I take it with me everywhere I go. Anyway, I'll see you punks soon. Peace in the Middle East, free Tibet, and God save the king. Save King Chucky. Save King Charles III. Save that. Save that son of a gun. You gotta save him right now. Save him. Save King Chucky.